I've never been to a country where English was
Zero.
zero.
Yeah.
What did you have background in?
Several occasions I've been to countries where I didn't understand a fucking thing they were saying. And then, you know, every country has their own languages and customs. So when I got to a foreign country where I didn't understand anything, it's actually a blessing, because when you walk down the street in America, for instance, you get behind two old ladies and Uncle George has bursitis in his left knee, and you hear all this hubbub, the cops saying, stop, hold, turn left, and people bob, bag it up here. I mean, that's all you hear when you walk down the sidewalk of the street, is people talking, and you listen to it all, even though you don't. You know, it absorbs into your head, even though you're not consciously trying to listen to those people's conversation. It's just you understand the language. So in a foreign country, when you're walking down the sidewalk, the same two old ladies are talking about Uncle Ben's bursitis in his left leg, except you don't understand it. So then your head's cleared up because you're not digesting all that, because you can't. It's just background noise. It's like, you know, you're listening to a machine run.
Right.
So it clears up your mind for other issues. You know, you want to be, you can see things differently. You know what I mean? Because your mind isn't all cluttered with background conversation that gets in the way of your thought train. You know, when you overhear someone else talking, automatically your brain goes, oh yeah, my cousin's got that. You know, and then it's brief, but yet it interrupts your brain thought. You know, it's not like you harp on it, but all of a sudden your brain hears the conversation and you relate to it, or, you know, it's automatic. That's what people do. You know, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So in other countries where you don't understand anything, sometimes it's a blessing. Other times it's just a pain in the ass, because you try to get somewhere and nobody's understanding you. And
Is that what was the first country where you experienced that?
Mexico. I didn't understand Spanish. It was like, what the fuck? And where I was going, there weren't no English speakers. You know,
Right.
So it was like,
And where was that?
oh hell, all the way to Acapulco, the first trip I took, and in the mountains, Guerrero.
Oh, by
Estado Guerrero.
Durango and.
No, out near, up in Pedregoso and up in the mountains outside of Acapulco, where actually the Rambo movie was shot there, where the waterfall scene is. It's a beautiful waterfall there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I had a Mexican girl, and she told me she was going to take me to the waterfalls, and I said, okay, cool. So, and then there's a sign that tells you that Rambo 1 and 2 was filmed there, you know, so, but we went up to the waterfall, and nobody was there. Nobody was in the parking lot or anything, right? And you looked up on top of the waterfall, and there was two boys with AK-47s. So she goes, that is why no one comes here. I said, well, so should we be here? She goes, I come here all the time, and no problems, as long as you don't go up there. She goes, they're growing poppy, opiates up there. She goes,
Oh.
don't go up there. I said, I don't want to go up there. I mean, I'm happy just swimming here, but I kept my eye on them. All they were doing was looking over the parking lot to make sure nothing was coming. I mean, they were front guards or something, but.
Scouts, yeah. Huh.
So, and that, you know, I didn't know anything. Well, I got to tell you this one. Magic mushrooms. This is a great story. Of course, Alicia won't like it, so I have to tell you some other time.
Oh, well, tell me, my magic mushrooms.
In Costa Rica, when I went down there to Banco Anglo Costarricense was the name of the bank that I found via a friend on the phone, because we didn't have computers back then. They were paying stupid amounts of money, interest on your money. I said, come on, and he was showing me the paperwork, and he says, yeah. He goes, this is what they're doing down there, bro. I got a hold of them, sent them some money, wired them a couple $100,000, because the return was ridiculous. So I said, okay, so the first month, sure enough, I got paid. I mean, for several months. I kept getting massive amounts of return off my money. So I said, what the fuck are they doing? What are they doing down there? I'm going to go see. So I flew to San Jose and went to the address where the bank was, and it was a motel. And I asked the cabbie, I said, look, I said, are you sure this is the right address? And he looks at it and he goes, this is it, senor. I said, thank you very much. So I got out of the cab, walked up to the hotel lobby clerk, and I said, I'm looking for Banco Anglo Costa Ricans. And she goes, oh, yeah, on the 5th floor. I said, okay, so it's a motel. It's a hotel. It's a nice one. I mean, nice dining area, bar, you know, nice place. So I went up the 5th floor, hotel rooms, just like you'd expect. Walked down to the number, checked on the door, knocked on the door. I heard someone scream, "Entra!" I said, I went in, and there was 2 desks, 2 girls, another door connecting another room with a desk, and file cabinets and phones, and that was it. And the guy comes and he goes, how can I help you? I told him who I was and that I had an account, and he invited me in and shared a drink, and he was telling me what they did and how they did it, and I'm going, so this is the whole bank right here? And he goes, this is how we get to pay you back your interest at the rate we do. He goes, our overhead is 0. I said, wow. I said, you know, how many countries are you doing business with? And he said, like 23. I said, God damn, man. So this boy was a brain. He was brilliant. But it was frightening also, because there was nothing backing it.
Oh.
So, anyways, off the shore there's a bunch of little outer islands, and there's bridges that connect a lot of the outer islands, but a lot of them are just scattered, hither, skittered. So I was just driving down across the bridges, and I wanted to go look around. I was wasting time. I was there. I was looking at stuff. So I saw boat rentals. I said, okay, boat rentals, cool. I'll rent a boat. Go check it out. Pulled into the boat rentals right at the bottom of a bridge, and I went in there and I asked him if he had any boats, and he said, no, none available. I said, wow. Okay. So walking back to my rented Jeep, and the girl that was in the store comes running out, and she goes, I have a boat, but I have to take you in it. I said, well, how come you have to take me? And she goes, because it's my boat, and I don't rent it, but if you want to go see things, I got time. I said, okay, cool. So I was really excited. She wasn't anything special. She was just a girl trying to be nice, you know what I mean? So that's how I was looking at it. Great. So out come the cooler, and we're in this little boat, a little John boat, like, you know, 10-footer or something, and we're going from one island to the next, and she's telling me all about the place. I mean, she was like a tour guide. It was cool as fuck. And then she stops and she goes, have you ever smoked mushrooms? I said, no, I like spaghetti, but she goes, no. Ooh. I said, like magic mushrooms? Oh, yes. She goes, magic mushrooms. I said, well, I never smoked them. And she goes, I got some. And she's reaching in the cooler and takes out a glass bowl and puts a piece in there. And she takes a hit and she goes, here. I lit it up and no flavor. Took 3 or 4 hits, and then I woke up on the beach. And
woke up on the beach?
Yeah, butt naked, and there was the boat laying up on the beach. And here she was walking way down there, and I'm going, what the fuck? It's like, I don't remember any of it, bro. Yeah, and then she was really freaking because her dad was going to kill her because she'd been out all night, and here I am with her. Wow. She goes, when we get back, I'm going to drop you off at the bottom of the bridge and then run across the road and get in your truck and leave right away. Okay, bye. Nice to meet you. In the Jeep, and I was going. But it was quite the hallucinogenic thing, because I remember some of it, but no. It was real intense. I remember that part of it. No, won't smoke them again. Yeah.
Maybe you smoked too much.
Don't rightly know, but it was real fucking kind of freaky. You know? I had to gather up my clothes. I stripped naked or something. I must have been hot. I don't know what the hell was going on. Oh well, it was a fun time. So I spent a few more days there, and I took my money out of the bank because I didn't trust it. I knew what was fixing to happen. He was fishing everybody in for the kill. I'm just saying, I never did find out what happened, but
What was the name of it?
Banco Anglo Costa Ricans.
Banco
Banco
Anglo
Costa Ricans.
Costa Ricans.
Costa Ricans. Not Ricans, but Ricans.
Recents. Huh.
Oh, well,
When was that? That was,
Huawei.
wow, it must have been quite a while ago when you must have been a youngster.
Oh, I was young. Yeah. Yeah, because.
Well, I mean, when did you start flying to Colombia? I mean, when you were like
20.
19, 20?
21.
Wow.
Yeah, I did my first run. I didn't even have a license.
Is that when you stole the...
No, that was much later.
Oh, okay.
And I say borrow, bro.
Yeah, you borrowed.
I didn't steal it. Borrowed.
You returned it with a tank full of fuel.
Sometimes. Not.
Sometimes. Not the ones you wrecked.
Sometimes not in very good condition either, so, you know. And sometimes not at all. They
Like
didn't get
bullet
returned at
holes.
all, you know. Some of them never got returned at all. So, yes, sir.
Well, the DC-3.
Well, that was owned by a friend, so. I was in Florida, Lakeland, Florida, Winter Haven area for a while. And I got involved with these Chinese folks that were doing this huge flea market. And, I mean, it was a big one, and they were building big buildings and wanted me to do some designs for the exteriors and the main office area. So I did all that for them. And then they wanted me to build a runway out back, like kind of connected to the property, but around the swamp area. I said, well, okay. So I was doing all the paperwork, and then they wanted me to find them a DC-3 to fly fresh fish from Mexico. Yeah, okay. So I'm getting paid good. Got the crews running and doing all that work for them and put the runway in, and then while I'm looking for this plane for them, I had an office there right on site. These DEA agents come in and said, are you so-and-so? I said, yeah. And they said, are you searching for a DC-3? Yes. You've got a piece of paper? And I said, yes, why? He goes, well, we have to investigate. Today's world, everybody wants one of these as a drug smuggler. He goes, so what are you going to do with it? I said, it's not for me. And just then, the Chinese guy walked in, and I said, it's him. So they all went in his office. And then all of a sudden, the permit for the runway was yanked, and he went to prison.
Oh.
Yeah, they got him several months later for something.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I imagine the flea market's still there. Yes, it is. Angel, how did it go?
I had just gone to sleep and some noise fucking woke my ass up and I said, fuck it. Fuck it.